Marku, czy zapowiesz kolejną piękną kobietę, która
Oczywiście.
będzie na scenie?
Z przyjemnością, z przyjemnością. Słuchajcie, przed nami piękna, młoda, radosna kobieta. Aktualna mistrzyni dystryktu w gorących pytaniach, finalistka dystryktu w mowach humorystycznych. Przed wami Lisko Macmillan, My Medical Misadventure. My Medical Misadventure, Lisko Macmillan. Brawa!
Most of you, at some point in your lives, have thought you were switched at birth. I sure have. For a moment or two, or like a decade. But then, every time I screw up in life, one of my parents will tell me I am just like the other. So that gives me a sense of reassurance, because if I always mess up, just like my mother, and I always fumble, just like my father, then clearly there is a sense of genetical belonging. But even if I wasn't switched at birth, we sure have had our fair share of medical misadventures. Like a couple Mondays back, I was gonna go out with my husband, no kids, for the first time in a while. For the first time in about 6 years. So you understand, this was gonna be a special night. So we're at home getting ready, and my husband has already had a shower. Like I said, this was gonna be a special night. And I'm all dolled up, and then, all of a sudden, quite unexpectedly, really, I chop off a piece of my thumb, and as blood gushes out, I can't help but think, well, clearly I did not want to go out that bad. And naturally, I can't find bandages anywhere, so I end up wrapping about half a roll of toilet paper around it. And I called my parents. Hi, they were going to babysit the kids for the night. Hi, are you guys on your way? Oh, good, because I have just cut off my thumb, and I need to see a doctor. And as I put the phone down, I can just hear my mother hiss, just like her father. Next thing I know, I'm getting into my father's car, and he covers the distance to the emergency room at an unrecommendable speed. So I go in, I walk up to a nurse. Hi, I have just cut off a piece of my hand. Can you help me? She tells me to lie down, everything is gonna be fine, as she starts removing the toilet paper. And finally, she says, "You need to see a surgeon with that." So she dresses my thumb back up, and now we're crossing the city in the opposite direction, right, to the hospital. I walk up and I go in the ward. I walk up to the young doctor. Hi, I have just cut off a piece of my arm. Can you help me? Of course he can. You sit and you wait. So I sit and wait. And I wait. And I wait. And finally, the young doctor calls me in. So I go in, I sit next to an old nurse, motionless, in front of her computer screen, and before I even say anything, she goes, "Oh, I cannot open another window. I have 2 windows open. You sit and you wait." So I sit, and I wait, and I wait, and finally, my mother, the lawyer, has had it. She marches right into the doctor's office. Clearly, my daughter has been waiting out there for way too long. You obviously are waiting for her arm to die. So, after this is over, I want your name, she points to the young doctor, and your name, she points to the old nurse. And she marches right out. But the young doctor follows her out only to say, oh yeah? And after this is over, I want your name, and you, he points to me, hold your arm up. Just then, perfectly timed, the old nurse calls me in. So I go in, I sit down, I hand over my ID, and she starts typing my last name. M-A-C-A-M. Oh, I just had it. M-I-L-L-L-L. How many L's is there? And I swear, a part of me just wants to say, for freaking teen! 2 L's, ma'am. So finally, they put me on a table. They exposed the disaster of my thumb, and the young doctor, he stabs me with an anesthetic that I swear goes right through my nail, and before the painkillers even start working, he's done stitching me up. Minutes later, as we're leaving the hospital, mother, myself, and my father, I make sure I write the doctor's and the nurse's last name for future reference. And I can just hear my father hiss behind my back, just like her mother. Now, by the time we get to the parking lot, my painkillers have finally kicked in, so I volunteered to drive. And seeing that I am in a hurry to tell my kids, yes, Mommy will live, and ask my husband if we're going out again, ever. Naturally, we get pulled over by a cop. And as I turn off the engine, I can just hear my mother hiss, just like her father. So this memorable Monday mishap firmly confirms some universal life truths. 1, you should avoid hurting yourself beyond what you can fix at home. 2, if you must, absolutely must come in contact with medical personnel, I highly recommend a last name that's short, local, and easy to type. And 3, fellow Toastmasters, if you still ever wonder if you were switched at birth, well, I don't know where you find your consolation, but me, all I need to do is to screw up to find out I am just like my parents.